So I'm Michael, and I'm very happy to be invited for this talk today to share some of my thoughts. So thanks for that. And I actually started out with a military career, but I have had the chance to work with process excellence in different industries for I think more than 10 years now. Even had the chance to work as an independent for a while and speak at various conferences, sharing my thoughts on things. So this whole area has really opened up a very meaningful career path to me. I now work with a company called TIP that delivers leasing and rental of trailers and now also trucks, and servicing and repairs and other associated services across Europe and also in Canada. And TIP is on a really exciting journey with expansion of services and more focus on process and a lot of focus on digitalization. So I'm very happy to contribute to that. Not everyone knows yet, actually. I'm from the northern part of this country, Denmark, and we have lived 15 years or so south of Copenhagen. But we just recently purchased a approximately 200-year-old water mill up here in the northern part of the country, and complete with its own hydroelectric power plant and lots of opportunities for enjoying nature around us. So we've definitely made a big change in lifestyle recently, my wife and I and our 4 children. So very happy to that. So I was first introduced to sort of bona fide process excellence, Lean Six Sigma, when I was working with a big retailer in Denmark, and we were doing the belts training and Lean on the warehouses and so forth. And I just thought, yes, wow, I love this. This is the way I want to work. This makes things tangible. It makes them real. It helps align people in terms of how things are going, what's important to work on, how do we actually improve things together to create real and sustainable change. And so that was really an eye-opening experience to me. In particular, also the way that we were able to enable collaboration across teams or departments that perhaps didn't have that much of a tradition of working closely together. So the whole potential of not only lifting business performance, but also making people happier with the way that things work and working together was just a great experience to me. It also did make me aware of how sensitive I think we need to be to the transparency that this way of working creates. So some people may feel reluctant to share things that might not have been working so well. So it really requires a certain culture, values, leadership style to support this and make it flourish. So a great experience. Perhaps if we start with some of the big contributors to this way of working. So Deming, for instance, and the whole concept of systemic thinking has been highly inspirational to me, and I use it every day in any context almost, because it's so great for providing a holistic overview of anything. So I think that's an amazing way of working and looking at things. In terms of specific people, there have been a couple of people. There was a person when I joined Maersk, Jazz Sinnott, who had been with Maersk for a while, was working with process excellence as well, hugely knowledgeable within this field, and also really skilled at working constructively with massively different stakeholders and sharing his experience with me in the field, enabling me to really get going with my practice there very quickly as well. And on the more operational leadership side, I had the chance to work with a leader of an HR team that at first was skeptical to what's working with these things on an organizational level, but we got things going together. And then he just made it take off, really applying the values, the leadership values required, involving the team, creating great results with that team. That was very inspirational to see the leadership application of this seen through in such an efficient way. In terms of training, actually, the change leader part of the Master Black Belt process that I went through with PMI was hugely inspirational in terms of understanding the psychology behind change and how we just can't force these things. We need to understand how people think about things and to get them going on a constructive path of change. And that to me was very inspirational as well. We have all the tools and principles and so forth, but it's people that create the improvements and the real changes out there. And so we need to understand and respect that. I think that people perspective, and that rarely will we succeed if we just tell people to do something that they don't think is right or they don't understand it. So we need to engage, we need to understand and explore and involve people to understand how can we create efficient change paths, I think, with this understanding. I think this is a very relevant topic, and I think that there is a lot of untapped potential out there in general of merging these domains a bit more. I think the process excellence perspective can be helpful in terms of understanding what exactly is it that we want to achieve with these digital changes that we see through. How do we want them to impact the processes that we work with, and also ensure that people, customers, users are involved in a structured way, and that we keep improving things and the systems that we set up over time. I also think that the whole focus in process excellence on compliance can be helpful. So when we have seen through digital changes or initiatives, how do they actually work out there? Are we in reality changing processes and reaping the benefits that we hope to? Or are we still doing things a little bit with workarounds and stuff like that? So I think there's a lot of potential in terms of applying this to this domain as well. So what I like to do is that I like to talk to people. I'm not terribly interested in PowerPoints or reports and stuff like that. I like to talk to people, engage with people, understand how do they feel about their work? How do they feel about their processes? If they are to describe how things work, how would they do that? Are they frustrated? Perhaps things are not very predictable. Perhaps they feel they have to fight every single day. Perhaps they feel that they need to make a lot of workarounds to make things work despite of defined processes or systems. Are people really working on their own stuff all the time, or do they also interact with each other to understand how processes are working and how they can improve them together? Of course, there are also some visual signs, such as, is there any visual management present that is also used, and are people involved in identifying opportunities to improve in a structured way? So that's typically what I would look for when engaging with a new team of people or an organization. We need to peel off that layer of appearance. We need to peel off that layer of people feeling that they need to display things in a certain way, or just having ticked things off in terms of a list of tools that need to be used. We need to get behind that to understand where people are and what they think of all those things, and how we can make some real progress. I would definitely tell them, give it a go. This is such rewarding work to have the chance to do, to make things better, to help people succeed. And I even think it has potential to have an impact on one's overall quality of life, honestly. I think a lot of these tools and principles can be applied personally in your private sphere as well. So get going with it and keep in mind that we are here to help. So I think this is unfortunately the cause of some initiatives out there perhaps not doing so well, is that we feel we need to force tools or principles on people. As mentioned before, I really think we need to understand where people are and help create a path that works with them, so that we don't make people feel inadequate or incompetent. But there's so many interesting perspectives to work with within this field. So get going with it.